Today on Running to Him.
God places people in certain positions to accomplish His will. And this is a devotion for 3:14. Today we will read Esther and concentrate on chapter 4, 1 and 2, verse 4, verses 7 and 8, and verses 13 and 14. Esther 4, 1 and 2, 4, 7 and 8, 13 and 14 says, When Mordecai learned that all had been done, he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and wailed loudly and bitterly. He went as far as the king's gate, for no one was to enter to the king's gate clothed in sackcloth. Then Esther's maidens and her eunuchs came and told her, and the queen writhed in great anguish. And so she sent garments to clothe Mordecai, that he might remove his sackcloth from him, but he did not accept them. Mordecai told him all that he had done to him, and the exact amount of money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave him a copy of the text of the edict which had been issued in Susa for their destruction, that he might show Esther and inform her, and to order her to go into the king and to implore his favor and plead with him for his people. Then Mordecai told them to reply to Esther, Do not imagine that you in the king's palace can escape any more than all the Jews. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place, and you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not attained royalty for such a time as this? Well, have you ever been placed in a situation where you knew that God put you there for a reason? God works through man's decisions to accomplish his will. The story of Esther and Mordecai illustrate that fact. This story never would have happened if Mordecai, Esther, and the rest of the Jews had not stayed in Persia instead of returning to Judea and Samaria as they should have. Yet God knew a plan would be hatched to destroy the Jews in Persia, and he raised Mordecai and Esther to foil the plot. Even though many people made choices that attacked God's desires, God foresaw them and worked around them. It happened then, it happened in Jesus' day, as happening now in Israel. Mankind must choose to submit to God or not. In either case, God's will is fulfilled. Our choices do not fool God, nor does he have to change his plans to outwit Satan and his minions. Satan has already lost. He just doesn't know it yet. I remember playing a game called Risk. It's played by grouping armies in certain land masses and then using them to conquer the other player's land masses. Because each player rolls dice to determine the outcome of every battle, while there's a large amount of gameplay left to chance, there is also a skill component used to protect your armies while attacking the other players. The successful player has a plan and knows how to execute that plan. To win, players must think ahead and know what to do when and where each enemy attacks. In every crude way, that describes God's foreknowledge. We can defeat Satan because we know what he wants. We know his methods and his tricks. We can win if we play the game correctly. James 4, 7 and 8 states, Submit yourself therefore to God. Resist, and the devil will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hearts, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.